Welcome to an episode of Why Have I Volunteered for This. So this week we're going to try and make a sign for the Queen's Green Canopy. Now I was going to use this piece of oak. Looking at the moisture content, it's still about 20% and that's on the outside, so once I take a cut off it, it's probably still about 30 or something like that on the inside, and it needs to be done in a couple of weeks and that's just not going to dry in time. What I do have, however, is this old oak table. This is priory oak. I think it probably dates from about the 60s or something like that, so we'll be cutting that up and using that instead because that certainly is dry. Okay, so the sign needs to be the same size as an A4 sheet of paper, so I'll just run this through the bandsaw and just take off this edge where the screw holes are, and then there's a radius this side as well, so I'll just mark this roughly where I need to sort of be, and then we'll get cutting. Okay, so we've got a piece now. Just going to put it through the drum sander a couple of times, both sides, just to see what we're working with, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, to square a piece of wood up is quite simple. All we're going to do is pick the straightest side, which I think is probably that one there. We'll run it through the table saw here, down here. That'll give us a nice straight edge. Then we'll flip it over, move this over a bit, and then take another piece down. That'll give us two parallel straight edges. Then we'll bring it over here and take a cut down here. Then that's three sides. That will be square to that, that will be square to that, and then flip it over and do the last cut, and then they should all be square. Yeah, we should have a square piece of wood now. Okay, so we've got the board secured onto the CNC machine now. So all I've done is I've secured a piece of plywood with the clamps, and then what I've done is I've glued a piece of oak to the plywood using two pieces of masking tape with some super glue in between, which means when it will just easily prise off. Before we start doing any sign writing on the board, what I'm going to do is run over the top of the board with this bit, and that will ensure that the board, the top of this face of the board, is perfectly flat with the CNC. So we'll do that now. All I'm going to do is just go up and down manually just to do that. Then once we've done that, we'll change the bit and then we'll do the sign writing. Okay, so what I've done there is I've done two passes, taking off 0.25 of a mil each time until I'm happy that it's flat. It doesn't sound like a lot, but trust me, even 0.5 of a mil, when you come to do your sign writing, if it's that far out, you will notice in your lettering. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll change the bit now to the bit I'm going to be using. We'll re-zero the Z-axis to the face of the sign, and then we'll get that engraved. Okay, so that's come out all right. We go and take it off now, and then we'll give it a sand. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to give it a coating of Danish oil. There was talk, or I had suggested that I might think about using some epoxy to put into the lettering and stuff like that. The epoxy I've got is eco epoxy, so it's made from all natural products, so there's no problem there. But I think this is probably one of these times where less is more, so we'll give it a coat of Danish oil and see what it looks like. Okay, there we go. I think that looks alright actually. So what I'll do is I'll let that dry, give it probably about another 4 coats, and then that's ready to donate.